What's going on, guys? Wave from Revolution here with my buddy Fabrice Pougez, who is a partner in an incredible brand called Jacques Bianchi. When you guys recently relaunched, or I should say launched, the Jacques Bianchi JB200, it was one of those watches that swept through the internet like a sensation, like a wildfire, right?
Jacques Bianchi built up 2 watches in his life. He's a famous watchmaker in Marseille.
He was a guy that used to work on all like the Comex, the Sea Dwellers and so on like that for all the divers right out there. And he's something of a legend, and at some point he designed his own watch. And
exactly.
The JB200, which I really love because it doesn't look like anything else, right?
Yeah, that's super cool watch.
Right.
And you've got also this big diver on the face, which was really like a discovery to me, and that makes me love this watch immediately.
Cool.
They first wanted to produce actually the other watch that he produced in the 90s, but basically I felt in love with this 80s edition.
Right.
And they were supplying this watch to the French Royal Navy.
Yes.
So with the help of our friend Paul,
Paul,
that we know in common, our friends.
Paul Michael, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He helped us to discuss with Jacques Bianchi and go back to the Navy Museum to get all the information about this watch.
Right.
And he helped us to build up, the background of this brand name.
Am I correct that the original watches were quartz?
They were quartz, at this time. In the 80s, actually, it was more popular to produce quartz watches than automatic watches.
Especially for a military watch as well. But for you, you wanted to make that same watch, but make it a mechanical version.
Exactly, which was a kind of a challenge because the watch was really slim with the quartz movement.
Right.
By the way, it was equipped with the France movement, which is my first company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was like
full circle.
It was like love,
Amazing. And tell us about the success you've had with this watch. I mean,
it was fantastic. We've been working for a year with the help also of a Swiss designer, a friend of mine called Christian Chablot. Mm-hmm. He's based in Lausanne, and he has also 30 years of experience in the watch business, but in the design field. And we spent hours designing this watch and redesigning especially the lug so it still looks slim.
Yes.
We've been redesigning all the figures like it was at this time.
Right.
So it's a big challenge to make a re-edition so you have the same vibe as the original model.
Right.
Okay, when we had this Kickstarter, it's like in one day, whether you've been working properly for 1 year or not.
and I take it was good.
And the sales went like crazy.
That's cool.
We had like 150,000 euro within 9 minutes.
Wow.
And the next day was 400,000.
Right.
And we end up as one of the record of for horology in France for Kickstarters.
That's incredible. I remember I'd seen it, and it was funny. I was like, the discovery part of like Instagram. I was just flipping through there. My discovery usually consists of like dogs, like sausage dogs or dachshunds, because attractive women, motorcycles, and like MMA, and then and then watches, of course. And I remember going through the discovery, and I looked at it, and I was like, "What the hell is that? It's so cool, right?"
Yeah.
And also I didn't really know so much about Jacques Bianchi at the time, so it was really interesting. Just instinctively, I looked at the watch, and I was like, "Wow, that's great!" And I love this sort of like almost. It's totally unusual. I call it like a manta ray shaped kind of case,
Yeah, right.
That doesn't follow any of the normal codes for diving watches. And then the fact that it has this huge scuba diver on the dial as well. I just instinctively thought it was so cool. Then I remember coincidentally, I think someone from the team, maybe Paul, reached out to me because we're buddies. And then he's like, "Hey, can we send you a proto just for you to review?" And I remember I got the watch and I put it on. And I didn't take it off for like four or 5 days. It was just awesome. And I have to say, you guys completely over-delivered relative to the price in terms of the quality. It's phenomenal. Like on the wrist, it's amazing. When you touch it, it's amazing. The crown, the bezel, and I love the fact that you incorporated details that watches that cost 5 times as much don't have.
Yeah, right.
Like for example, incorporating all the indexes in the bezel to be highly luminous, right? And I was like, damn, that's so cool.
And we just made a small limited edition for collectors,
right?
For comics lovers, I would say. And we made a red diver for that one. But
Yes, I remember.
it was only 55 pieces.
Yes. And you made us a very beautiful pink diver
Yeah,
for
for the auction.
our charity auction to support breast cancer as well. And then fortunately we got to hang out and we became buddies. And remember we were having this wonderful schnitzel dinner in Zurich. And I was like, hey, you know, Fabrice, Simo and Paul, do you think we could potentially do an edition together? And very kindly, you agreed, right?
We said, Banco.
That's very cool. And then you know, the idea that we all kind of came to was like, you know, already the watch's luminous signature is so cool, right? Because you have not just the hands, not just the indexes, but this crazy bezel. Every single index is lit up.
Yeah, that's right.
And with like super strong lume. And then we were like, what if we made the scuba diver luminous as well? And then I know you were really into that idea, but of course it presented some technical challenges. So walk us through some of the challenges that you had related to executing this.
So now the challenge for the divers is that we have increased the line of the shape, of the diver's shape, but it still has to glow, and we wanted to make it in a different color,
right.
So you have more contrast on the dial.
That's
and
so cool.
So it's even cooler than the original model.
It's so cool. Yeah, the surprise I got was, so you look at the diver, you see that there's a slight difference in that all the lines that, you know, delineate him are slightly thicker because they have to be lumed. But then I put the UV light on it and I was like blown away because the diver, the rest of the dial is going green and the diver is going like electric blue. It's just so sick.
A second big challenge for this watch is to have a vintage look but not too brownish.
Right.
And to coordinate the luminous on the bezel, the hands and the dials, it was kind of a challenge to, you know, cooperate with these three factories and of course with Tritech in Switzerland.
Right.
And we did pretty well because it's not too brownish and not too whitish, I would say. Yeah.
Yes. You know, one of my favorite details on this is the mirror polish rehaut. You know?
Yeah, right.
And I like the fact that now you can see a blue diver in your mirror polish rehaut as well.
Yeah, right.
This is really cool.
I would say it's kind of the French touch of the watch as well, to have a mirror finishing on the inner ring. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, sir, I can't say anything except I'm so privileged and honored to be working with you. Thank you, Fabrice.
I'm so glad to cooperate with you as well.
My pleasure, sir. Cheers, guys.